Today Terry and I are out driving around in Guadalupe and Caldwell County. We're looking for a little town, Geronimo, which is right in front of us. And this little town, there's been activity for hundreds of years, dated back to the 1700s with the Apache and Comanches using this area. There was a spring here and a creek here. In the early 1700s, they were using it. By the time the 1800s rolled around, the late 1700s, excuse me, and early 1800s, this was Spanish occupied and owned land. And I'm pulling over for the little sign I want to shoot here. It was Spanish occupied land, and obviously there was a lot of clashes between the tribes that were here as well as the soldiers as they came in. But as time went on, there was one man who was a Spaniard. His first name was Geronimo, and apparently everybody in the town really liked him, and he initially or eventually I should say got the title of Tio, which is uncle. It's a sign of respect. So the town eventually was named Geronimo, and that's why we're here now. So I'm gonna go get a picture of the roadside. I always kind of like to start off with that, and we'll go from there. So I am just shooting this right now with my iPhone because light's nice. I don't need to worry about depth of field or anything else. I have all my Sony equipment with me in case I need to do anything that really with a telephoto lens, or if we need to do anything in low light situations. I do want to walk in here a little bit more, check it out. It doesn't look too snaky, but if I get in here any closer and feel like it is, I'll put my boots on. What's next? See what's coming up here. Check it out, see what's in here. Full of bottles in the yard. The house has obviously been abandoned for quite a while for the trees and everything to get this bad, and as you can see, the concrete's all broken up on the porch. So definitely seen its better days. This is one of those houses that there'll just be no way to recover it. Let's see what we got in here. Anything? Not too much in the way of anything that would photograph well. There is kind of a cool window right here. Let me see if I can get in and get this. I just like the way the frame is hanging down there like that. Zoom in close. Get rid of all that 1970s paneling somebody put in that they thought looked so good at the time, but now we know it never did. Kind of cool. It makes the window makes a little cross there as it's fallen, which is kind of neat. Makes for a cool shot. All right, let's see if there's anything from this other side window that I can get. I like shooting the windows as they're in the process of decaying and falling apart. To me, it's just I see a lot of beauty in that. I thought that was a dead predator there for a minute, but it's not, just a little stuffed animal. Oh, this isn't too bad with all the limbs in front of it. Kind of cool. It's got some nice shadows on it. Let's see, I'm going to do the dual windows first, but I really want to focus in on just the one window. Yeah, I like the way the only has two pieces of glass remaining in the bottom, and then all the trees that they've fallen and grown up around the side definitely kind of give it a good feel. Kind of cool. Just like time and decay takes over, and sooner or later it all falls apart and comes down. Now this is a really cool shot, and I'll probably put this on our page with Texas Gone as color, because you can see how you've got the blue right here, then the black and white, and then it goes back down to black and white. This would not be anything that would be workable for the long-term book we're working on, simply because that's all in black and white. But every once in a while we run across something that the color makes the pictures, but for the most part I really don't want the color, because I think it just distracts from the look and the feel that I'm going for on these old places.
Oh.
You okay?
Yeah, just slow down a bit. Let me get through.
Okay. Yeah, another window. I don't think there should be a whole lot out of this shoot at this particular house here in Geronimo. That would be really something that we would use for our book, but it's still stuff that I want to record. As it falls down and goes away, it's just never going to be back. And nobody's ever going to build anything with this kind of feel or formula again. It's just not the way it is. Now this one's kind of cool too, the way it's fallen down. Terry, can you see that okay? Terry's shooting all the video for me today. Something a little different role for her. Used to, when we go on these trips, there was no such thing as shooting video because we didn't do it. And there was no such thing as using an iPhone because they didn't exist. Everything was, back then, Canon 35mm film. And you had to wait till you got back and I processed the film to look at the negatives to see what you had. So, whole different scenario than today. Today's world makes it a lot easier to just in real time see what you have and see if you need to do any adjustments or corrections on the spot. So much. I can do as much with this as I could $10,000 worth of gear 30 years ago. Like I said earlier, unless you're really like trying to do something with depth of field and a telephoto lens, or if you're really shooting something at night where it's super dark, these are not quite there yet, but I think probably give them a few more years and they will be. So I really like the way these old vines have grown up on here, with this kind of, meandering vertical pattern with the horizontal pattern of the old wood. It's a little difficult to photograph. I'm probably going to have to tweak this one a little bit with contrast to get it to really pop out. But I still think it's going to make a good picture. I like the look of it. Oh, this is kind of cool. I like the way this hinge is kind of rusted on here. It's kind of a hot spot, but that's okay. I can make that work. Hey, can you come get a little video of this, Terry? So if you kind of zoom in a little bit. What I really like about this is the old barbed wire. Actually, this isn't barbed wire. This is more like hay baling wire that they would wrap the hay with before they went to the round bales. I like the pattern it makes here. I like the way it's swirled. I like that there's an old leaf in here, and the old 2x4 obviously is falling apart, as well as the old hinge, which is just hanging on by one nail. You can see all the different nail holes, so no way of telling how many times it's been nailed on before, but it looks pretty cool like that. Oh, this is cool. This is just like an old, this looks like probably a half bushel basket. I remember these as a kid. So when you pick beans or even potatoes, whatever, you would put it in the basket. So like I said, this looks like a half bushel. Bushel's obviously twice that size. And then they have another basket called a peck. And it's like a little red basket and has a little handle on it. So I think a peck is about half that size of that. So as we were walking out, the way we came in were a bunch of bees. We're not gonna mess with those bees. So we came back the other way and happened to see this wire. I'm gonna see if I can angle it to get a whole shot of the house in decay through the wire. When you're shooting stuff like this, if you see something and you think it might work, just shoot it. It's always better to shoot it, not need it later, than being, you know, going, oh my God, I wish I would have shot that. So as a newspaper, kind of the rule was when I worked at the Express News, been a photojournalist for a little over 10 years, I guess. You know, you shoot it, and then later you figure out whether you actually want it or need it. Go right here, Terry. You don't have to. Terry, you recently hurt her back, so I want to make sure that she's not going to do anything to aggravate that or make it worse in any way. Get it through this fence up here. Okay, Terry got across it, so now it's my turn. This is barbed wire because it's got the little barbs on it. That's why it's called that. See if I can make a couple of steps here and not kill myself, poke myself. I've had my cut and shot, so I'm not worried about that. And I actually made it first try.